Hello, it's Eleanor and welcome to Custard Cubes. This week we've decided to talk about music. This video could be quite long as we haven't discussed what we're going to talk about, and the topic of music is quite a big topic. So I'm just going to discuss it generally and kind of what music means, kind of what it means to me, but more on that later, I suppose. Now, music has always been a massive part of my life. Ever since I can remember, I've always played an instrument. I mean, in reception, when you're given a recorder, you're told to play the recorder, and it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific, but you're told to play the recorder. And ever since then, I have played an instrument ever since I was in reception, and even then, before then, I was on like tambourines and those drums you get as a child. I was always playing something. But nowadays I play the ukulele and I play the guitar. I love this guitar, can I just tell you, I actually love it. And I sing kind of. I say kind of because I don't do lessons in any of these. I kind of teach myself, and for singing I am in a musical theatre group, which I talked about in one of my vlogs previously, which we did show week. It was show week for our showcase, and very soon I'm going for an audition for Les Mis, which is just one of their next productions. And I love singing and playing my other instruments. In the past I've played other instruments such as the viola, the violin, the flugelhorn, the cornet and the piano, briefly, because I was naff at it and I am still to this day awful at it. I took music as a GCSE and I got a B. Surprisingly, I got a B. I was incredibly impressed with myself in that because I literally thought I'd failed. My compositions were naff. My theory, I failed. You get marked. There's 5 different units, I think. There is your 2 performances, your 2 compositions, and then your theory test. And I failed my theory test, and then I got A's and A. I got an A and an A star in my performance. I got 2 B's for my compositions, which I thought I'd done horrifically on, because listening to them now, they are crap. But I got 2 B's, which is always good, and then I got an F for my theory. But oh well, I got a B overall, which is very good. I also took performing arts, which I kind of majoritively did singing, a bit of dancing and a bit of acting. I sang a song called Anything Goes from the show Anything Goes, and it was single-handedly the worst experience of my entire life. Ever. Literally ever. I can't think of anything worse than that. I remember I always used to come off stage and just cry because it was horrific. That song, oh, nightmares to this day, not even joking. Moving on from worst experience, I suppose we can go to best experience, which was probably the time I went to Leeds Festival. Now, as I've said, music has always been like a massive part of my life, and when I went to Leeds Festival, the majority of my favourite bands were there, and I think the only concert that I'd properly been to before that was Arctic Monkeys, and Arctic Monkeys are probably my all-time favourite band ever, and I'd been to see McFly when I was very, very, very young, when I was about 7 years old, in the Motion in the Ocean tour. I went and saw that. But Arctic Monkeys was probably the only band I'd been to see before I went to Leeds Festival, and at Leeds Festival it was possibly the greatest lineup ever for me. In fact, no, I think it was the greatest lineup I've ever seen. I think there was 3 bands that could have been there that could have just made it even better for me at the time. But, you know, those 3 bands, I mean, I'm going to see 2 of them this week. Sorry, I'm really excited. I'll talk about that later. And then in February, which I shall talk about later. I've been lucky enough to see the majority of my favourite bands. Like, I have seen a wide selection. I will insert a clip of my tickets, which I proudly house on my wall. And I mean, I feel like I have been very privileged in the fact that I've been able to go and see all this live music, and I mean, they are some of my most treasured memories, are those at those concerts. I've always been one of those people who was like willing to spend all of my money on venue tickets, concert tickets, going to see things, because personally I find that that is the best thing for me. The kind of being in a situation with loads of people who like the same music and you're all dancing and singing along to a band that you really, really love. I don't think there's anything better than that experience. For me, anyway. I think that is my favourite thing of all time. I went to go see a band. This is kind of just going to be a brief story, probably of my favourite concert I've ever been to. I went to see one of my favourite bands, Peace, I don't know, a couple of months ago? Maybe even a year ago. It was a while ago. I mean, I had long hair and everything. It was ginger, so it was a long time ago. And I went to see them with two of my closest friends at the time, and it was such a good concert. It was a really, really tiny venue for a band that I was expecting to be in, not a stadium, but do you know the Academy 2 in Manchester? We were expecting that kind of venue, and in the end it was like a place that was as big as like your average room, like an average front room size. It was tiny, and there was like 200 people there, and that was it. And I went, and we were at the very, very front. We must have got to the concert about an hour and a half early and stood in a queue in the freezing cold. I think this was last November, so it was about a year ago, and it was freezing, and it was I can't even tell you, it was so cold, but we were so excited. It wasn't too bad. I was in touching distance of the main band member, and I was buzzing. It was incredible. So we were leaving the venue, and then we'd made a friend kind of in the venue who was also waiting till for some ungodly amount of time. So we'd made friends with her, and then she stood at the front with us, so we were having conversations with her, and she was like, well, come around the back and we'll meet them at the end. So then we went and met my idols. I love them, seriously, I can't tell you. And I got photos, and I got a signed ticket, and it was just, oh, it was so good. And I got, also, one sec, I shall be back. So this is Peace. And when, like I said, we were at the very, very front of the kind of, it was literally like, there was the stage, so I was rested right up against the stage, and at the end of the concert there's that massive kind of surge forward to get the picks and the drumsticks and the set lists, and the main guy, Harry Quasar, his set list was probably about this far away from me. So the second the concert finished, I lunged forward and grabbed it, and I got the Peace set list, which is in my little Peace enemy for the moment. And it was just, I remember I hid it under my shirt because there was loads of 6'5" men crushing me into the stage, trying to reach for it. So I hid it, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to get it out until I've left the venue because people are vicious. So I was hiding, and then I got out of the thing, and I was like, oh my god, look, and all my friends were like, how the hell did you get that? When did you even get that? Nobody really knows who Peace are, but they are single-handedly probably one of the greatest bands ever. They deserve more recognition. They're fantastic. I have about 9 favourite bands, at the moment anyway. It's likely to change. These aren't in any particular order. These are just kind of, I couldn't choose one favourite band. I couldn't bring myself to choose one favourite band. So this is my selection of probably favourite bands. We're going to go at the moment because it will change. Arctic Monkeys, Falls, Wolf Alice, Alt J, Tame Impala, Jitterbug, Panic at the Disco, 21 Pilots and Peace. And I've been lucky enough to see most of those bands. I still haven't seen Tame Impala, Falls, Alt J, Panic at the Disco and 21 Pilots, but I've seen everybody else, and I've seen a massive selection of other bands which have been inputted on my wall. You will see my ticket selection. And I'm going to see 2 of the bands. I'm going to see Falls on the 13th of February, and I'm going to see Alt J on the 29th of November, which is like this Sunday. So I'm kind of like, I'm on edge. I'm like, with me and Lucy going, I'm so excited. I can't verbally describe how excited I am, but I'm absolutely buzzing. And after that I want to see Panic at the Disco, 21 Pilots and Tame Impala, and I think then I've seen near enough everybody I want to see. So I'll just have to kind of go back round and rewatch everyone. I really want to go see Jitebug again. But yeah, I feel like music's important to me. So there you go. That is my little kind of information through music. There you go. I shall see you next week. Bye!